Wow. Well. Everybody can talk now. The mic is unmuted. But anyway, did everybody like the freaking intro? Give us all a thumbs up. Come on. There's 134 people here. I want to see some thumbs up, or we ain't going to the next slide.
We're going to hold them hostage?
All right.
Oh, man.
We got to go through a lot of things.
That was a big build-up, man. That was dramatic. I love it.
That was awesome. Yes.
Cool.
All right. Anyway, these are our members, folks. Please, they're in the chat right now. Please thank these guys for being a member. Do you want to be a member? Just go at the bottom of YouTube. And by the way, we're going to be doing a giveaway tonight. You got to be on YouTube to get the giveaway. Okay. So you got to be on YouTube. So make sure you're on YouTube. Now, if you're on the short version of YouTube, there's another link. Just go to Throttle Iron, check out the lives, and right there, it'll be the full screen version of it. So a lot of people are saying, man, you guys are on a short, on mobile. What's going on here? Just switch over. We're doing both at the same time so we can do shorts at the same time for this. All right. Also, you can check out shop.throttleiron.com. And yeah, there we go. So let's go to the next screen here. As everybody knows, I'm not going to read all these out tonight, but you guys know these are our friends. They've helped us out throughout the year being guests on the podcast, and we just want to keep on paying it forward. These are our friends, and please check out their websites. They're great companies and great friends, and also YouTubers. All right, the calendar. Next week, we will have a podcast. We are not going down to Daytona, but we have some friends at Daytona that are going to help us out with some videos. So we're going to work out a way of doing that, and maybe he'll be live on our channel Tuesday night next week. So please be watching then if you're not going down to Daytona. And hey, we got Forever Rad on March 17th. That's going to be a great one at 8 p.m. So be ready for that. And then we'll talk about Loop. Loop is going to be something that we're going to be doing. So loop around your city. It's going to be fun, and we're going to have some excitement with that. All right, here we go. Man, look at this, Mike Kennedy. Welcome to the podcast, man. Man, this is amazing. Hey, hold on a second. We have a big crowd out there. So when we really do it, hey everybody, welcome Mike Kennedy.
I love it.
Oh,
That's
man.
awesome. Well, thank you guys. That's a heck of a build-up. I hope I can live up to that dramatic intro.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I worked on that all day today, and that wasn't AI, by the way. That was me doing that, so it was fun. So
yeah, the drone video was from the Jack Daniels event in Chattanooga, I think, when we were getting ready to go on the main ride.
Yeah, it was a great event. I can't wait to go this year. So,
are you guys going this year? All you two going?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
know about Max, but we are definitely me and
I'm planning on being there.
Awesome.
Sweet.
It's gonna be a great adventure.
Depends on finances.
Yeah, we'll drag you down there. Last year he was gonna ride on the back of my bike, but
no, don't even go there. Don't even start.
I'm just kidding. But he's got his own bike now, folks.
Yeah, I know the way to Indiana. So speaking of which, yes, I do have my own bike, and it's sitting in its own owner's garage. Les has it. He drove it home from the shop. We have some upcoming things we want to do to it, and we want to know if we should film them, because everybody's done these things, but we haven't. So we have some highway pegs and some other knickknacks that we need to do. Are you folks interested out there in the audience in seeing the videos from these? Yes or no? Let us know.
We can do it anyway. Don't worry about them.
Yeah.
I'm worried about them. That's our audience, man.
All right, we got 173 people watching. That is a record breaker right now. Thank you all. And,
yes, it is.
Yeah, 56 likes. It's awesome. So we're trying to wait a couple seconds so everybody get in here, because I know everybody's getting the notifications. And then so Mike doesn't have to introduce himself twice. But we're getting close. We're getting really close.
I'd like to just say welcome, everybody, because I usually say hello to everybody, but my little fingers are already worn out. So
yeah.
Wow.
Now, yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say, Liz?
No.
Oh, all right. So we do have questions already. People have been filling them out on our website. The cutoff date was on the 17th, so Mike could have a chance to look at them. If you do have a question in the chat, you make sure you put a Q in front of it and a colon, whatever you want to do, or a hyphen, whatever it is, because we're not going to see it. There's too many people here. I can scroll back and search for Qs, but that's the way it's going to work out. So we might get some of the questions in the chat if we're able to, but we got a ton of stuff we got to get through. And this is going to be an awesome podcast. So Mike Kennedy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, like I say, I'm just a kid from Milwaukee that got in the motorcycle business back in 1989, right out of undergrad. And I had my motorcycle license, but I didn't really consider myself like a motorcycle guy. My dad bought actually, my dad's 87 years of age, and I just talked to him about this a little while ago, but he bought a 125, I forget the model, it was a Yamaha single, and he brought it home. I think I was about 12 or 13 years of age, and ripped around the fields in southeastern Wisconsin and learned how to manage the clutch and learned how to not kill myself on two wheels. And then I went to work at Harley, and somebody threw me the keys to a police demo shortly after I started, and just kind of was hooked ever since then. So I've been riding motorcycles pretty much my entire life, or since I was about 12 or 13 years of age. And I tell people that I'm an avid motorcycle rider today. I mean, I ride a lot now. I prefer to commute to work on two bikes, two wheels. My wife and I like to vacation on two wheels. I'm riding to Daytona tomorrow. I'm leaving from Dallas, riding down to Daytona with a couple of teammates. And I think it's awesome to visit dealers on our motorcycles, because you just tend to think about the most important things in a better way, in my opinion. So, and I tell that to people because it gives you a little bit more of the perspective of how I'm going to think about running the Indian Motorcycle Company. Not that you have to be a rider to run a motorcycle company, but I think it's important for people to know that, listen, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on our product, and that's the perspective I'm going to bring every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really important to have a rider's perspective, especially when leading a company that makes motorcycles, right? I think it's important to have that piece.
Yeah, I don't think it's a requirement, but I do think I do think it's important. There's an interesting story I could tell you about a little bit later about Terry Vance and I getting in an argument over this idea of, do you need to be a motorcyclist to run a motorcycle company? But I'll talk about that later. But so I was at Harley for 26 years. That job took me literally around the world, a variety of different roles in sales, marketing, product management, product marketing, dealer development. Always had a respect for the dealers, our partners. I think that came from the fact that my dad owned his own business, and I think I always appreciated what dealer partners have on the line in terms of risk and making payroll and all the challenges that comes with running a small business. But I left Harley in 2017, 18, and I was fortunate to find a role with Vance and Hines, and so I was the CEO, president of Vance and Hines, which sounds like a real natural fit. But having spent all that time on the OE side of things, it's amazing how different the view from an aftermarket company is when you look at the motorcycle business. But it was a fantastic experience, learned a ton. We were highly vertically integrated with that company. We sourced all of our material in the United States of America after we made some changes, and we made everything from the billet end caps to the head pipes to the baffles and everything else. I mean, the hardware we didn't make, but we were very vertically integrated. And then I went to company called Rumble On, or Ride Now, which is the largest power sports dealership group in America. And that was another great experience for me, because I got a chance to really see the side of an OEM from the lens of a dealer, and actually was a dealer for a lot of different OEMs, almost every major OEM, and certainly was a dealer for Indian Motorcycle Company. So got a chance to compete against Indian, got a chance to race against Indian on the track, got a chance to be a dealer for Indian at Ride Now. And so I think all those perspectives I'll bring to this role, and super excited when I got the phone call from the Carrollwood guys saying, hey, we're not motorcyclists. We don't know the motorcycle industry, but we love great brands. And this brand is available, and we like to partner with you on advising us. And then if we're fortunate enough, would you be interested in running the company? So I feel like I've been working 35 years just to kind of get ready for this point, and super excited, feel really blessed with what we're inheriting as a standalone company, and anxious to show the world what we can do when any motorcycle company wakes up and singularly focuses on motorcycles, as opposed to being part of a large, diversified, $10 billion company like Polaris Industries. That's not to take anything away from them, but now you've got a team that's 900 employees, and we're singularly focused on motorcycles. And I think we're going to be able to impress the world what we're able to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Freaking awesome story. All right, so
Great.
I know you want to talk about this year's inspiration, the slogan, and all your new videos. First and that kind of stuff. So you want to talk about that too? And
Sure. Yeah, we shared with our dealers in Los Angeles, and then 2 weeks later in Spain, kind of the vision for the company and the strategy of how we're going to compete to drive the company going forward. And our vision really is about, from a focus perspective, right out of the gate, we're going to be focused on middle and heavyweight cruisers, baggers, and touring. And we expect to enter the trike market very soon. So not soon like next week, Tuesday, but like sooner than what would normally be in a normal product development process, which would probably be like 3 to 5 years. So sooner than that. I know there's a lot of questions about, are you going to make a small bike? Are you going to get into off-road bikes? Are you going to do this? You're going to do that? And, two words I don't like to use in business is never and always. But to start, that's going to be our focus, are those product segments. And we laid out with our dealers kind of the 4 key strategies of how we're going to compete. Number one is our brand. We have a very, very special brand in Indian Motorcycle Company. It is America's first motorcycle company. Yes, the company was out of business for a period of time, but the fact that the brand is still strong shows you the strength of the brand. So we're going to lean into that. We're going to invest in that, and we're going to nurture that brand going forward. And it just so happens, just great timing for us, that this is 125 years celebrating the brand. And then number 2 is product. So we're in a product business, and product inspires people. And, people that buy our motorcycles don't need them for transportation. They want them, and there's an emotional connection. And so you can bet that the product we produce going forward is going to be both functionally great, but also emotionally inspiring. And you're going to see, I think Max was talking about the original 101 and looking at today's 101 Scout. Look at the Chief Vintage as a great example of a product that, what I love about that product is there's only one OEM that can do that motorcycle, right? Nobody else can do that motorcycle. And
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. And Ola and the team just nailed it. I mean, that bike, I'd encourage everybody to take it for a demo ride if you can. I took one out in LA when we were out there for our dealer meeting, got a chance to ride up the 101, and it sets you back in time, as you're holding on to those bars and sitting behind that gas tank, but yet it's got great technology and, an engine that's compliant and contemporary as well. So it's a great ride. So product is going to be a key part going forward. And again, we're starting from a position of strength. When you look at our current product line, whether it's touring or cruisers or heavyweight, Springfield, I mean, we've got great product that we're starting with. And then thirdly is U.S. manufacturing. And this is something that I love to talk about because I love manufacturing, but the previous company had plants around the world. We still are making cruisers for the European market in Opole, Poland, but that property is not conveying over to the new company, and so we'll run model year 26 out for the European markets, and then after that, all of the global manufacturing assembly of our motorcycles will be done in Spirit Lake, Iowa. And to me, that's very exciting. I'm super
bravo
to be partnering with the people of Iowa and Minnesota to compete globally with our bikes. And by the way, if anybody's listening from outside the United States, that U.S. manufacturing strategy does not mean that we're not serious about competing outside the United States of America. It simply was a combination of certain facilities weren't offered to the new company. That was number one. Number two, we had too much capacity in our system. And if you know anything about running a manufacturing company, it's not a good idea to have a ton more capacity than what you need. And so if you haven't been to Spirit Lake, Iowa, the plant is incredible. It's modern, it's contemporary, it's filled with great human beings, and it's got, I like it because it's got AI technology to do quality inspections on the line, and it's got great human beings putting motorcycles together with a lot of care and love. So I highly encourage, if you're ever in that area, it's a great path. If you're going from the East Coast to Sturgis, it's about, 10, 15 minutes off the main interstate. And you should stop in and take a tour of it. So U.S. manufacturing, big piece of it. I can talk more about that if you'd like. And then the last one, and certainly not least, is dealers. And the reason why dealers is one of our key strategies is because there's a couple different reasons. But first off, we're not retailers, right? We're manufacturers. We're going to design motorcycles. We're going to build them. We're going to ship them around the globe. And we need healthy dealers around the world servicing our riders. And I told the dealers in Los Angeles, we will judge ourselves on the success of our dealers. Dealer turnover is no good for our riders. It's no good for fellow dealers, and it's no good for the company. And so, yes, we need to build out the rest of our dealer network. We have over 230 in the United States of America, which is, again, not a bad place to start. I'm very proud of that starting position. We have 600 dealers worldwide. Again, very, very good footprint. But we do need to add some dealers in the United States of America and abroad. But we'll do that in a smart, purposeful way. We don't, we don't want to just add dealers just to add points. And we've got a lot of incoming phone calls right now from dealers around the country that are interested in what's going on at the Indian Motorcycle Company. So those are kind of the four strategies: product, U.S. manufacturing, the brand, of course, and dealers. And that's going to kind of be how we compete going forward.
Wow. I think me and Les are actually planning on going to Spirit Lake this year. We're just got to find a time frame. It's going to be after June, probably, but we're going to take a long weekend and go right up there and ride our bikes and ride them back.
Oh yeah.
We would do it when we're going to Sturgis, but we're actually doing an iron butt on the way there, so we can't stop.
Well, let me know when you want to go to Spirit Lake. I'd love to meet you guys there. I'm proud as heck to show that place off and introduce you to the great people that are there. So
I'd love to do that. Love to do it.
Yeah, Riding Fish did a tour there last year. It looks like he's actually going in the chat right now and saying, "Hey, anybody want to do it again?" He actually had a bunch of people there, and he had a band playing. So he does a huge event. So Riding Fish, he's a good friend of ours for the podcast. He's pretty cool. All right, so we got some questions in the chat. Just want to remind everybody that we will talk about them questions in the back of the podcast. So I'm sorry you have to stick around, but we do have questions already that people have already submitted on the website, and we will handle them first, and we'll get started here in a few minutes. We're not going to be doing like a PowerPoint. We're just going to be an overview of this. We're going to have the questions pop up, and we'll just talk about, the key summary of it, and if one of them questions underneath there gets talked about, then we talk about it. But I do want to appreciate everybody that took the time to write the questions and everything else. And I have gave as much credit as I possibly could, but this podcast would be like 6 hours long. But I really do appreciate that. All right.
No,
Chris.
I don't have enough. I don't have enough for 6 hours.
No. Yeah, Chris. Thanks to the viewers and the fans out there, we had over 100 questions. I think submitted.
For sure.
We've been able to narrow them down to a group of, I think, 10. I'll say subjects.
11. Yeah.
But yeah. So no, thank you to everybody out there that took time to submit questions. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, I'd like to echo that as well. I love it. That's how I learned reading through the questions. I'm reading through the comments right now. Lots of great comments in there. Maybe we can, towards the end, Chris, maybe we can just scan those and make some comments on some stuff. I love the fact that people are writing in. It's great. Super to see.
Did you guys see me looking in the side or looking down? I'm actually starring some of the comments so we can go back to them. I know my wife is over there. Connie, you want to introduce yourself? You haven't done that yet.
I'm exhausted over here already. No, this is fantastic.
Yep.
Hey, everybody, I'm trying to keep up.
Hey, there's 231 people watching, and I only see, only 50 subscribers so far. So start subscribing, folks, because we do this every week.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a lot of content, and a lot of guests coming up in the future, too. So stay tuned. All right, so let's get started here. We'll go with the first one.
By the way, somebody just asked, I'm drinking water, but I am drinking it out of my brand new Throttle Iron mug.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And we thank you, sir, for that. We
It is
thank
water.
you.
Nice. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Man, we gave you a whole gift package to come on here. That we had to pay him. I'm just kidding.
Merch, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yes,
I'm kidding.
bribery
Hey, listen,
does work.
Chris, I'm going to give you a little advertisement. I'm
Yeah.
a t-shirt. I'm very picky about t-shirts.
Mhm.
And so the guy sent me a t-shirt, which I love. By the way, I'm riding a 112 starting tomorrow down to Daytona. And I love this t-shirt. I love the saying on the back. And more importantly, it's a great quality tee. Like the fit, the fabric is really nice. So I highly recommend it. I'll be wearing it tomorrow as I head south. So
Awesome.
Sweet.
Freaking awesome.
Sweet. Thank you.
It's gonna be great. Like I said, we are still getting tons of questions in here, so just stay put. We'll get as much as we can. All right, we're gonna get started here, and we're gonna do the disclaimer first because it looks like a couple people want to know what Max is drinking, so we'll go with that first. And
Yeah, we better get going on the questions, or we're going to be here till midnight.
there we go. There we go. All
I
right.
know.
hey,
Here at Throttles and Iron, we believe the bottles and throttles don't mix. We promote responsible drinking of spirits, do not condone drinking and riding at the same time. While we may enjoy a drink or two during the podcast, we do so safely at home with no riding taking place afterwards. Please enjoy responsibly, follow your local laws, and never drink and ride. Tonight, in honor of Mr. Kennedy, we broke out the good stuff. We're drinking Blanton's Single Barrel. And folks, this is good stuff. If you've checked anything online, the $100 that it usually costs is usually around 3 or 4. So this is good stuff. If you can find some, pick it up. Don't try to match all the letters on here because you'll spend a fortune trying to do it.
All right.
Blanton, Single Barrel, good stuff. Question.
Oh, hold on a second.
What I was going to say also is that a lot of the questions that come up in the chat here have already are going to be addressed in these comments. So starting off, Mr. Kennedy, sir, let me start with my favorite subject, the Thunderstroke engine.
Well, hold on one second, Max.
Okay.
I hate to say this, but somebody just did a super chat for $99.99.
Wow.
What?
It says, Mike, what is the chances of neighbors and coming out with a big motor HD has for a 131? Are you planning on something? I know. Go ahead, Connie. You can talk. You can say that one. It says planning on something. I know like that or something ? There you go. So anyway, I just
Where is that?
Big Motor HD has
Yeah.
their 131. Are you planning on something like that? I think
yeah.
something I know like
Yeah,
that.
we'll start that one, Bob. I just wanted to mention it right now, but we'll start that one. We'll talk about that one in a few. Believe me. All right, so let's go start here. Sorry about that interruption, but we're gonna go ahead and get right here, and this is the deer and to Max's heart right here. So let's get started. There we go.
Yeah, well, it ties into and displacement and everything else. A Thunderstroke engine future. What mainly concerned to a lot of us, because a lot of us, especially members in the Throttle and Iron community, are on Thunderstrokes. What's the long-term future of the Thunderstroke platform, sir?
Yeah. So great question. And while I got to be careful not to talk about new product going forward, the Thunderstroke engine is a great motor, right? We love it. It's beautiful, and it works really, really good. The Chief version had been upgraded to meet Euro 5 standards for emissions perspective, but the touring version is not. So that's something that we're going to have to make some decisions around going forward. And Chris said it earlier, I think when we were warming up, right? It's a 2-motor platform today that we have. And we'll have to decide how we navigate that going forward. But don't be afraid. We love the Thunderstroke motor. We love that engine. It is a gorgeous motor. It delivers all the characteristics that we like. On the same token, the Power Plus is maybe a different interpretation of a V-twin and offers a slightly different riding characteristic because of that engine architecture. And we'll have to make some decisions going forward on how we manage that entire portfolio going forward. But rest assured, Max, we want future engines will inspire and deliver for all of our riders. That is my commitment.
Which leads us into the question Chris was trying to ask by that person, by Bob. Potential larger displacement variants, including the 116. As you know, sir, I have talked to various influencers, and I've mentioned to you the 125 bikes would have been a bigger hit if you had made that Thunderstroke engine a 125. I know it can be done. If they can make a 131, they can make a 125.
Sure.
So what about it? Larger displacement, that would keep it in the mix.
Well, I think, listen, our engine, we have an incredible technical team that we're inheriting in this new company, and not only great technical competence, but we've got, it's a global team, right? We have the team in Bergdorf, Switzerland, and then we've got the team in Wyoming, Minnesota. I feel blessed to have the team that we have. And so, we're going to have to make decisions going forward on, what's the future of our powertrain? Which way are we going to invest? How are we going to invest? We're going to meet emission standards globally, right? The current Thunderstroke motor does not meet Euro 5 standards. That doesn't mean that we can't invest in it to meet that. And those are the investments that we're going to have to make. And my commitment, as I said earlier, is you're going to have, I'm an avid motorcycle rider, helping to make those decisions. And I got a ton of avid motorcycle riders on my team. Our head of engineering, John Callow, is an incredible rider. He's ridden across Europe, rides a Sturgis every year. Most of the people on our team are motorcycle riders. So this topic right here is a critical component of our future product going forward.
All right. So we've talked about EU emissions and the coexistence with the liquid cooled platform. Before I get into my last question, let me ask you this. Just a guess off the top of your head, sir. What's the ratio of your staff with Power Plus versus Thunderstroke?
Oh, man.
Okay, because I'm outnumbered here. I'm
The house
always
divided.
outnumbered here.
Well, listen, that's a great question. I mean, we sell more Power Plus motors than we do Thunderstroke motors today in the touring lineup. Okay.
Okay.
And that doesn't make Thunderstroke a bad motor. I'm not saying that at all. It is a gorgeous motor and it works. But we're racing the Power Plus motor on the King of the Bagger series, which I know you guys want to talk about. And it's a globally compliant platform that we have today. That's part of the reason why we're outselling the Thunderstroke motor, right? Because the Thunderstroke motor in those touring products, bagger products, is not offered in all countries around the world.
Right. So that brings me to the future of the Thunderstroke with the styling, as far as the Roadmaster, the Chieftain, the new one that just came out. Is there any plan to add the safety systems that are on the Pursuit and the Challenger now to those models in the future?
Yeah, I mean,
everybody deserves to be safe.
100%. No, 100%. And I actually just had a meeting with Bosch. Is a great partner of ours, and they're always working up great technology, and they know that our company likes to push the technology envelope, which you guys have seen, right? The rear radar system, which I think is a fantastic element to have on a touring bike. I ride baggers myself mostly. That's what I like, touring and bagger bikes. Touring bike if my wife is with me. A bagger if it's just myself. Although I do own a 101 Scout in the garage because I've got a son-in-law and I've got a daughter who has a motorcycle license, so I had to go get one of those because it's just a gorgeous bike. But listen, Max, that's the product roadmap you're starting to describe going forward of the bets and investments we have to make as a company. and we got to make sure we make them in a smart way so that we don't detract customers like you and get alienated because they don't, you love the Thunderstroke and you don't want that to go away. At the same time, you want some technology offered on that platform that you don't have today. So you can bet one thing for certain: you're going to see a simpler, more serious product line going forward.
All right. Let's move on.
Dealer network.
Yeah, dealer network. Let's talk about that. So, I get a lot of feedback from people, and we hear it, a lot. And that was one of the big things I think that showed up in the questions was, how are you going to bolster the dealer network, expand the dealer network? You hear comments from folks like, my nearest dealer is 130 miles away. So, kind of what's the roadmap look like, Mike, going forward to get that dealer network bolstered up and increased in size, and so that you can better service the customer?
Yeah, absolutely key piece of our work going forward. And I would just want to point out that when Polaris bought the brand, 15 years ago or so, I think there were probably literally a handful of dealers in the country. And so to build out a U.S. dealer network of 230 partners in the United States, 600 globally, I mean, that is an incredible accomplishment that they have. Now, that means we've got good momentum in that area, and we need more coverage in certain areas of this country. There's no question about it. I mean, as a rider, I'm liable not to buy a product unless I have a dealer in close proximity to my house, because I'm going to want to go there for service and parts, and I'm not going to want to inconvenience myself on the weekends when I have spare time to go get tires changed or oil or whatever. So I totally recognize that and the importance of that. I think our job going forward will be to expand the dealer network while protecting the dealers we have today. But again, listen, you guys are huge fans, all of you on and listening in tonight. The good news is Indian's market share is growing. This is a brand that has got momentum, and it's celebrating 125 years right now. But I mean, the Scout lineup, our market share in the mid cruiser segment is doing well. Our touring market share in the United States grew very well last year in a tough market. And those are the kind of things that dealers usually look at when they are considering bringing on a new product line into their store. The other thing I would say is, while we love to be exclusive, and we've got about 40 dealers in the United States that are exclusive Indian operators, and we love that. We're also not afraid to compete in a multi-branded showroom. And I think there's some places in the world the Indian brand has service-only dealers. And so, I mean, that's something that we've talked about as a team here in the early days of the new company. Like, is that something that we should explore to help us have some, coverage in an area that maybe the market isn't calling for enough bike sales to justify a dealer point, but there's certainly enough riders there, or maybe the distance between dealerships to encourage customers to have confidence for service and parts availability. So all those things, at the end of the day, we have to look at and make good decisions and partner with our dealers, because the last thing we want to do is add in a dealer and all we do is take away from an existing dealer, right? So we got to be really smart, really purposeful about adding dealers, protecting the ones we have. But there's no doubt about it. We need to add more to get better coverage across the country.
Yeah. So, is there any thought or any consideration to take a look at the current dealer network, and I don't know how to say grade those dealers? Do you have some underperforming dealers, or ones you consistently get poor feedback on? Is there a way to grade and score dealers and try to improve their performance?
Yeah, there is. Our team has that framework in place, and it's the basics. If you're familiar with this kind of a relationship with an independent dealer network, we expect dealers to carry market share. We expect dealers to drive a promotion energy in the market, take care of existing customers, service hours, parts, etc. We talked earlier about having proper technicians on board, space available to the brand. All those things go into a system that grades the dealers. But that's our business with the dealer partner, and not something that we share publicly for the masses to know about.
Sure, I understand. Yeah, so you touched on the tech. Consider partnering with like a Wildtech or MMI to try to get some really newly skilled technicians and get them into the dealerships, or incentivize them to come to work for Indian for a period of time to really assist the dealer network to get qualified techs in place.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. I think I've got some history with my past of partnering with MMI and those kinds of. There's a bunch of regional technical schools. They're typically starving for resources in terms of having, whether it's hardware or tools, equipment to put in their labs. And I think that's part of the responsibility of an OEM to ensure that there's future talent that are capable and interested in working on motorcycles in general, but then also Indian motorcycles. So I definitely have to look at that in terms of helping our dealers. One of the we look at the struggles of a dealer, finding that technical competence is certainly towards the top of the list.
Sure.
Some of these comments is freaking awesome. But a couple people were saying is, and I understand when you have a multi dealership, sometimes you don't get the person that knows much about Indian motorcycle, and sometimes that's a turn off to people. So there's just some kind of qualification, I guess, in the future that, listen, your team members have to have these courses to know about Indian challengers and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, that's Chris. That is the concern, right? Because you have to have brand expertise inside that multi-branded showroom, and we think we can do that in a proper way where we have training and we have district retail managers that call on the dealerships that can spend time making sure they understand the product. We've got different ways to make sure that they can speak to customers intelligently about the product. But there's no doubt about it, Chris. That is the number one concern when you get into a multi-line showroom environment. Awesome. But my time at Ride Now, I was able to see what some really, really good operators did in terms of that, in terms of serving multiple brands under one roof. And sometimes that's just the economics of the marketplace, right? You have a choice as an OEM that if you want to be in that market, the only choice is to be in a multi-branded environment. Sure, as an OEM, you typically like to have a standalone store to your own, but sometimes that's just not economically viable for the dealer partner.
Sure, 100% agree there.
So at the end of the day, it's about that balance and making sure that we're setting our dealers up for success. Because at the end of the day, a strong dealer network equals a strong OEM.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely,
100%.
Truth.
Did we hit everything right there, folks?
I think so. I did not ask specifically about growth in Canada and Australia and the dealer network, but I think we got the pretty good line on you guys are going to increase your dealer network, or that's your thoughts. So,
yeah.
I just right before the podcast, Pat actually called me. We've talked a couple times. Anyway, he's almost to 200,000 miles, and I know you met him, and I think you're going to be in Daytona and probably riding maybe one of the rides with them. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Maybe I don't know.
No, hey, listen. When I met him, in Los Angeles, and I literally got down on my knee. He started laughing. Because I've done 1,000 miles in a day. I usually end up doing it when I leave Sturgis to go home. Because typically what happens is I'm in Sturgis for so long because it's just such a big event and there's so many partners to connect with and there's so much activity going on at that event. And there a long time, and then all I want to do is kind of get home, right? And so I typically do an iron butt to get home. And I'm telling you, last time I was at Sturgis, I was living in Southern California, and I left Rapid City and made it all the way to Henderson, Nevada. And I'm telling you, man, that's a long day. And this guy's doing that like continuously. I don't know how he does. He's a machine.
He's the guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I've met Pat. We met him at Chattanooga. And I asked him, I said, I can't even get my head around this. How do you do this? Multiple days. And he said, it's 6-minute gasoline stops. He goes, you get on and ride. And he said, if it's raining in the north, you go south. If it's raining in the south, you go north. And he said, you just go.
Yeah.
But yeah, the man's phenomenal. He's a legend for sure.
He's a machine. I literally got on my knee when I met him, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "No, you dude, like you deserve this. You are incredible."
Yeah, he is.
All right, let's move to the next one here. I think we're at question number 3, if I'm not correct. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of people were. This is a lot of people in the chat, man. Hey,
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the chat are commenting now
I have
about
to do
this
a
subject.
disclaimer here. We cannot talk about the future. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'm just
I know.
kidding.
I'm looking at the comments. Yeah, we're going to be at Daytona Beach, Indian on Saturday morning for the ride. But
Nice.
Ride Command, yeah. So listen, I think this is a great example of, we were talking about this with our dealers, both in Spain and in Los Angeles. So, Ride Command has a lot to offer. It works a lot better on Apple and Android. And I think to give people sort of hope and inspiration going forward, I'll tell this story, right? Before Indian Motorcycle Company was part of a $10 billion company and multi-diversified product portfolio, boats, motorcycles, off-road vehicles, snowmobiles, all that stuff. Great company. But Indian Motorcycle was 7% of that company.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a challenge or an opportunity within 7% of your company, you make decisions in a certain way. And now, welcome to the new Indian Motorcycle Company, where we're singularly focused on motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if we have a problem with Ride Command, it isn't on a list of a ton of things that we hope to get taken care of. It's at the top of our list, and we have to get it taken care of because we cannot afford to have riders have a bad experience with our technology. And I tell my team this, it's true, and I think we can all relate to it. I drive an F-150, and every once in a while I have a problem with my sync technology, right?
Mhm.
My phone won't connect to
Yep.
my, and I
Yes.
literally want to pull over to the side of the road and light my truck on fire, right? I'm like completely done with it. And it's just my phone. Like the engine's working fine, everything works fine. But like, because my phone doesn't connect to it, I want to light the truck on fire and leave it at the wayside. I don't do that, but so I tell that story because we get it and our product's got to work. I love technology on motorcycles, but the technology has to work and it has to add value to the ride. Otherwise, it's just in our way and it's driving costs up.
Okay.
And
So
yeah.
let me ask this real quick because everybody rants and raves about Harley's Skyline OS system. I mean, it looks good. Your gauges are there, gives you lots of information. You can do a whole lot of modes and everything like that. But not everybody wants a big 12-inch screen. What if it goes black? What if it goes dead? What if it shorts out? Which has happened with those models. I'm all for fixing Ride Command. It's not perfect. In fact, it's a lot to be desired. But that's no reason to get rid of the gauges and everything else that still keep us informed if Ride Command goes out.
Yeah, no, I think Max, technology, there's so much really good technology available for the riding experience today. Whether it's safety related, whether it's rider comfort related, whether it's navigation or audio related, and we should be taking full advantage of that, right? And I meet lots of riders that swear by Ride Command. They love it. It works great for them, and they think it's the best on the planet. And sometimes other times we have problems with it. So we have to address those problems. We have to fix that going forward. And in general, the mission for our team is to bring technology to our motorcycles that adds value to the riding experience.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great answer.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, Chris, it won't take us off to the state park anymore to make a loop around. Take us back.
That was
Take us back where we were at. That was good though. We saw the state park, so
it was very frustrating that night. But I think any GPS would have problems in that area where we're at.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah,
So and some people get stuck up on that. It's it's where the single is. If you're in a bunch of hills and mountains, I mean, you're not going to get the best single in the world. And Ride Command, that's where you need to make sure you download the maps, that kind of stuff to make sure it's working properly. But yeah, I mean, we've had our issues with it. I hopefully the future is going to be bright for. I know you guys have updated the new app on the phone. A lot of people have Android. A lot of people ask questions. When is Android going to be back on the Ride Command where it's able to like CarPlay? But it's all about licenses and all kinds of stuff that you have to work with, and you have to sometimes add parts to a motorcycle for safety because they won't work unless you have that kind of stuff. But I don't think a lot of people really understand. They think you just you pay a license fee and next thing you know it's on a bike. You got to do a ton of stuff. So
Right. Listen, like the good news is we've got an incredibly competent leader in the engineering organization in this area, and he's got a great plan for us going forward. It's going to be something we're all going to be very proud of. I promise you.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
This next subject, expansion into new segments, is always one that is going to land, well with some and negative with others. So I'll just take it on head on. So
I gotcha.
Again, I don't like to say never. I don't like to say always, right? Because those are two words that sometimes get you in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But from the beginning here, as we start as a new company, we're going to be laser focused on middle heavyweight cruisers, baggers, touring, and as I said earlier, soon to be trike. That's going to be our product focus, those segments. Now let's talk about why. Because everyone's like, hey, bring back the FTR, or how about a small bike? And I see some other things on there like, police. I like factory trike possibility. Yeah. That's definitely on my radar. The other ones,
there was even something about bringing Victory back.
Okay. I've had people ask me that. And listen, the reason why we're going to focus in on those segments with a laser focused investment and engineering execution is because we have momentum in those categories, in those segments. Brand matters in those segments. And we believe that when we focus our product development resources in those segments, we're going to just continue to pick up market share and grow as a company. And that's what we want to do, in the next 3 to 5 years, I'll say, right? That's going to be our focus. And anything outside of that, I'm just going to be truthful here, right? That would be a distraction for our company. It might be fun to bring the FTR back, but that would be an engineering distraction for us to try and do that.
Sure. So I have to ask specifically about the police motorcycles. I have a friend that retired as a motorcycle policeman from Indianapolis. He was on the road for 23 years as a police cop, and he's the one who asked the question: would you look into that segment of the market? So,
I love that segment of the market in part because I love police officers. My family has a long history of police officers, uncles. Many uncles. I have a nephew who is a motor cop up in the Milwaukee area. He's a great kid. I call him a kid. He's a great kid. And he's been chirping at me since I've been in this new role about some of the what the competition has done in this area, and he thinks there's a big opportunity in that area. So that's something that we'll look at. There's no, to be clear, there's no active program as of today, but we do know our product would fit in that very nicely, and it would deliver a great experience for motor police.
And guess what? You have a history in that. Go back and look at some of the Victory videos because they did make police bikes, and from what I heard, they were well received. So,
by the way, there's a comment on the screen. I just saw it, and the comment was, "The Scout is perfect for a small model bike," and that person is right. And I don't want to glance over that, right? I mean, the Scout 60 is a phenomenal motorcycle, MSRP of $9,900, $10,000 motorcycle. Do I wish it was $7,000? I do, but you know what? No one would like that bike if I made it a $7,000 bike. So it's a quality bike. It's got great technology. It's got an unbelievable powertrain. And by the way, it is the sexiest cruiser on the market, bar anybody. Honda, BMW,
Yeah.
Harley, like it is an incredible looking motorcycle. So
Yes, it is.
we have,
Chris.
yeah. And then the other thing you have to remember is pre-owned, right? I mean, pre-owned is a great access to the brand for new riders coming in. And especially when you look at the Scout lineup or Scout 60 that's got 2 or 3 years of life under it, it's a great access point for new riders into our brand. Sorry, I saw that comment. I just want to connect dots on it.
Can I tag on to that just for a quick
Yeah, go
second?
I know you're gonna say something.
I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
No. After you're done with that, I want to say something.
Okay, real quick. My wife Lisa is upstairs talking to a young man about remodeling our bathroom, and he was very excited to hear that we were doing this podcast with you tonight. He said he's a single young man. He was going to treat himself to a bike, and I recommended to him, you want to look for a Scout that's a year old or 2 years old.
Bingo.
That would be your best bang for your buck. And whether it's a 60, if you're first starting out, or whether it's a regular Scout, that's your best bang for the buck, bar none.
Yeah.
So that just tied in. I'm sorry.
Totally agree. Chris, do you have something?
Yeah, we did get a super chat, Connie. Do you got that one written down or not? Or you want me to say it? It's when Wheels Divide?
Oh,
And-
you can.
And he's also a police officer in Florida. He's a great viewer here. Indian tank shining like war paint bright, thunder rolling through iron at night. Scouts run wild, Chiefs ride slow, every mile etched in steel and soul. Not built to, I guess he's doing a poem here.
He is, yeah.
Sounds like he's doing a
Suppose
haiku.
or sit pristine. This bike reminds me of everything it's been. So there we go. So I just wanted to make sure we get that out there. He's a great viewer here. He's got his own YouTube channel, so check him out. He's a police motorcycle from Indian. Yeah, he'd be really up for that. But I think he's retiring at the end of the year. So,
He is.
Yeah. So we got some great people in here. We got some great viewers. We got some new viewers in here. We're going to try to get as much as we can. We still have let's see, we got 7 slides left, so we're actually doing pretty good time. So we're doing a pretty good time. So it's been.
Hey,
awesome.
I heard Les say earlier we're going to go till midnight. I can't. This old guy can't.
Hey, that's
I don't have enough to go that long.
I said if we don't get going on the questions, we're going to be here till midnight. We're only on number 5. So
all right,
Yeah.
Women rider representation, huge opportunity.
That'd be me.
That's a huge opportunity. Everything from apparel for the passengers as well as bikes for the riders and everything in between. I think it's a huge opportunity, and we could talk about it for an hour, but I mean, it's a huge opportunity for this company to do better in this area. And I've got a lot of women riders in my life, making sure that I'm aware of that. So.
And I think what you released today, if you guys haven't saw it yet, the 2025 Elite clothing. I mean, it's freaking nice. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm definitely gonna get the flannel as soon as I can. Hopefully, they don't sell out. So
there were a couple of women's clothing in there. So, and that's what everybody's screaming about. Connie,
that's like the number 2 thing that people were really
weren't you
focused on.
screaming about women's clothing?
Yeah, I do resemble that comment quite a bit. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I think it's a dealership draw also. If the dealership's known for really good clothing like American Biker and that kind of stuff, it brings people in there just to get the latest shirts and that kind of stuff, and then they look at the bike and then sometimes they actually buy the bike. So that's
right.
I think that's really good for dealerships.
Well, I
so.
did buy a lot of shirts up at Clarksville, wasn't it, or where was that? Up in Indiana, where you got.
Elkhart.
Okay.
Elkhart.
Yeah, that's where I bought my Indian.
I bought
it's a great
4
dealership.
shirts.
Great
up
dealership.
there.
And they had a good clothing line. What's up?
So Connie, I want you to talk here because you're the one that was looking at Scouts. Tell Mike about your experience about being confused and you couldn't get one to fit and everything else. These are things that he needs to know.
Well, I think he addressed it already.
I think
they're gonna limit the versions.
Well, tell me, Connie, you're confused by the number of versions?
There were a lot of 6 different versions or something. Yeah. So I kind of was confused on what was what. And there was just a lot of scouts to choose from. I didn't quite know why there were so many different.
And I can tell you this much. I don't know if this can happen, because when you go to a dealership and you have a scout, and sometimes they have like 6 scouts, and sometimes they're all black. But I'm just a little inside joke. But they all got they all got different
Foot placement.
foot placement.
Controls.
And a lot of people are really picky where they put their feet. And I think sometimes when you're looking at a motorcycle and a dealership says, and this is just maybe in the future they can do something where they can say, we'll swap that out for you, instead of saying, oh, that's $500, because they really want the bike. But that could be the purchasing right there in the middle of things. And I know we went to a couple dealerships, and it's like, well, if you want that, because she wanted a different handlebar and they didn't have the bike there.
I wanted mids too, so that was a big
mid
thing.
controls, and they said, well, that's an additional $1,000. I was like, wow. and that sometimes that can make and break a person's buying a bike. And I know,
more break.
And or you can order the bike and get it 6 weeks later. So I think that's something that we maybe can or people can look at in the future at Indian. I think that'd be cool. So.
Well, I think it's a great segue to the next set of questions around aftermarket.
Yeah. All right, good.
Well, no, I had one more question here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Underserved market, women and minorities. Now, I know HD used to have the Iron Elite section back in the day, and that's no longer on their website. I had to search YouTube to find any of those videos. But with ladies first riding and anything else, is there any movement to address the underserved segments of motorcycling here?
Nothing specific, Max, other than just our broad marketing and engagement campaigns that we have. Obviously, this year, the 125th anniversary is a big piece of our marketing message. Mm-hmm. Test rides are a big activation value add item that we're trying to get our dealers to do more of, and us to do more of. Our goal at Daytona is to do thousands of test rides at both of our locations down in Daytona, and obviously those test rides are open to everybody, all kinds of riders, right? So nothing pointed and specific, other than trying to fill the top of the marketing funnel with the right kinds of folks who are interested in the brand and close to our dealers.
I want to tell you one thing.
Good enough.
The 2025 Elites, man, that's probably the best paint job I've ever seen on Indian. I mean, it looks freaking badass.
Yeah.
You said that about last year's Elites too.
No, I did not.
They are special. They are special.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So the
aftermarket.
Aftermarket.
So let's talk aftermarket.
Yeah.
So aftermarket, and when I say aftermarket, there's independent aftermarket, and then there's Indian Motorcycle Company aftermarket accessories. And so in my opinion, our riders want both. Mm-hmm. Our riders want to be able to go get, pick your aftermarket company that you like, whether it's Clock or whoever, right? And you want that product for your bike because that's probably what you have on your current bike, and you want to be able to build out your new bike with those same brands. So that's a piece that we have to continue to do better at and foster and nurture. We'll do that with partnerships. We'll do that with relationships. We'll do that with making sure our bikes for the future are designed in a way that facilitate the replacement of certain items on the motorcycle, so it's easy for riders to customize them. And then on the IMC side, or Indian Motorcycle side, right? We need to bring accessories to market that are designed and engineered by our teams that our riders want, whether that's seats, audio, performance. I teased out. So both of those are really, really important to me. Mm-hmm. We have to partner with the aftermarket to facilitate that offering, and we need to have the right balance of our own accessories. And because I think riders want both. And if we're really good at this, we're doing both of those things.
Mhm.
I teased out to the guys when we were prepping here. I'm going to be riding a bike down to Daytona. It'll have a set of a prototype of Aero exhaust on it. So it's going to be a set of slip-ons. Aero stands for American Racing Operations, ARO. And that's going to be the new performance brand coming out of Indian going forward. So
Oh wow.
excited to have that on a bike down in Daytona. I'll have that bike on the ride Saturday morning so people can see it, listen to it, give me their thoughts, and we're going to race to get that in market here as soon as possible.
Yeah, that actually brings up a good question. Somebody asked me, would Indian Motorcycle ever consider making a limited edition high performance model similar like a Shelby Mustang? You have this bike that's set off, that's above the rest from a performance perspective. And would you consider partnering with somebody in the aftermarket or even with the Indian accessories to build a model like that?
I love how you think, Les. That's all I'm going to say. I love how you think.
All right.
Yeah, right. All right. So we always have aftermarket people on here. Dean Speed. We're going to have Kyle Forever Rad on here on the podcast. These guys are so excited right now with the momentum, and you guys, you invited them out there to the meetings also, and they are fired up about aftermarket. And it's like you just took all the restraints that Polaris had, and now it's just like, hey, run with it, folks, and we're going to be with you. We're going to be running with you, and I think that's good. I mean, that's a good thing going on, and I mean, I know they're excited, and I know that's what they're going to be talking about when they come on the podcast. Is that the relationship that they didn't have before with Indian, and now they do.
I think it's so important. I think sometimes OEMs can get a little bit arrogant about partnering with the aftermarket, and we are not going to have that attitude at all. We're going to be looking for relationships and partnerships, and the independent aftermarket scene is very important to our brand, and that's what our riders want. So we're going to help facilitate that.
Awesome. All right, so there's that question. Let's go to the next one. I think that's great news for everybody. International market concerns, high part pricing. Everybody has these tariffs and stuff like that. I understand their concerns, so we'll hit that a little bit. This is from Australia, Canada, and France. Awesome. So
yeah, we're taking a look at our global pricing for all of our parts, accessories, and apparel items. I actually had a meeting earlier today, actually, with our European leader that heads up that business for the European region. So we realize that there's some opportunity there that we're going to address for sure. Dealer expansion in Canada. I know we need a dealer up in Vancouver. There's a couple other spots where we need some dealer representation. That list just went away. What else was on that list?
Oh, I got it here.
Then,
I'll bring it back up.
No, that's okay. And then EU emissions impact on engine platforms. I mean, yeah. Listen, EU emissions are always a challenge. It's always moving. It always tends to be a lead in terms of the global compliance landscape. Our team is incredibly informed on that and staying ahead of that. We have the site in Bergdorf, Switzerland, which is a key piece of our powertrain development capabilities. And so, by the way, that's an incredible site. When I say I'm so blessed at not only the assets, but also the humans that we're inheriting in this company, Bergdorf is just a great example of that. Great technical capabilities with engineers that understand performance, engineers that understand compliance, emissions, and then the technology we have there. I mean, emissions lab, sound lab, dynos, robotic dynos. I mean, we got it all. I mean, we are so blessed in terms of that site there. So super excited about that. But yeah, international markets are hugely important to this company, and we are not going to take our eye off of being aggressive to compete outside of the United States of America.
All right, we're flying through these things now. All right, so heritage paint and vintage. A lot of people have been asking about, man, we got to get better paint jobs. We got to do this kind of stuff. I think you guys seen a little bit of it with these 2025s coming out, and they're beautiful bikes. So,
yeah, I mean the bikes released today are they're crazy. Even the black smoke and some of those other colors on model year 26. I mean, just absolutely incredible. I think the quality is at a new high. Can we do better? Yes. Will we do better going forward? Absolutely. The heritage paint, vintage identity. I mean, I think that what's in the market today in terms of the Chief Vintage. You guys saw that we also brought back the multicolor headrest logo.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
I think that's
Amen.
no, everyone's excited by it, right? And
Yeah.
my team's excited by it, and our new owners are excited by it, and our riders are excited by it, and you're gonna see it on T-shirts and hats and sweatshirts, and maybe even a bike or two going down the road. So
Love it.
it's
Absolutely love it.
gorgeous logo, speaks to our heritage, speaks to our legacy. We're super excited, but I think how you saw us move on that and the speed in which we moved on it tells you a little bit about the agility we expect out of our new organization.
Mhm.
And we closed on the business on February 1st or 2nd, and that logo was in play, within a week later. So that just tells you about the speed that we want to make decisions and how we want to be agile in terms of reacting and competing in the marketplace.
So if do you want to see this stuff faster, all right, have your friends that are on Harleys buy Indians. That's how you do it.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask this question, because I understand being smaller enables Indian to move faster. So we see the new models for this year, and they're basically the end of Polaris's influence on Indian. We can expect, and I thought we would see more of that in the 26-27 year, but from what you're saying, we should expect big changes in 26-27.
Mhm.
Correct?
No,
Or not?
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that. I mean,
Okay.
we're in model year 26 now, right? Model year
Yeah.
27
Right.
is basically a year away.
Right.
Listen, product development. The product development train is when you're building motorcycles and you're building high quality motorcycles, which we are. That's not a train that you want to push too fast, right? Because you want the quality and the safety to be
Mhm.
there. So,
Understandable.
yeah.
Everybody's correcting me.
Okay.
It's 2026, by the way. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I kept on saying 2025, but it's 2026. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because
So
the Sport Chief has 2 new colors that are really nice.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Sport Chief RT.
And that's another thing, because I know all of us said, hey, each bike has a bunch of Easter eggs on it. Is that something that Indian's going to do in the future? On all the bikes, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's an Easter egg I can't share, right? I mean, we gotta hide them.
Yeah. That's the
Otherwise,
whole
my
point,
Easter-
because they're Easter eggs.
That's
Like
right.
that,
That's
yeah.
right.
Kind of like the Indian 4 concept. That I've seen the AI versions of that. Looks pretty cool,
Yeah.
but the likelihood of that's pretty low, I think.
I think we're on question number 9. I should have been.
Yes.
Let's do
Mhm.
this. All right. We're getting close to the end. Not the podcast, but getting close to the end. All right. Customer service, warranty, philosophies, and stuff like that. That's a lot of people's concerns there. That came from Jeff Bryan, IMRG leaders. And we'll talk about IMRG pretty soon. I know that's been in the comments a lot too. So we'll be talking about that here in a second. So
Good. Yeah. No. Listen. No change to. I think Polaris. When I talk to dealers, the dealers give a lot of credit to Polaris taking care of customers, rider issues, standing behind their warranty. No change in that with the new company whatsoever. Straight continuity in that regard. I was in Melbourne, Australia back in November, visiting with a couple of dealers, and I asked the dealer in Melbourne, hey, what do you want to see with the new company? And he said, hey, when there's a problem with the rider, there's no problem. We just fix it. And that kind of mentality is going to be the mentality of the new company. Also on this list, you have dealer corporate relationship improvements.
Mhm.
So can I speak to that a little bit?
yeah, go ahead. Yeah. This is you. This is your show.
Well, no, I listen. The dealers have heard me say this, and I'd love for you guys to hear it as well. Like, our expectation is to have the best relationship with our dealer network amongst any OEM, and the reason why that's our goal, is not so that we're liked, although everyone likes to be liked, but that's not the reason. The reason is that I realize the value that a strong dealer network who has trust in their OEM delivers to our riders locally. I think it's more valuable to have 600 dealers around the globe that believe in their OEM, that have a relationship built on trust through transparency, is more valuable than me giving the marketing department another $20 million to spend on digital marketing. That's my belief. And so we're going to invest heavily with our dealer network because they are our eyes and ears locally, right? I mean, they deliver the motorcycle, they take care of the after sales experience, and they need to be successful. They need to have a sustainable relationship with us so that they're there for our riders going well into the future. So our relationship with our dealers, our relationship with our dealers is the most important relationship we'll have amongst all of our stakeholders. It has to be a successful relationship. It's got to be sustainable, and they have to be. We will judge our success on our dealer success. That's the way it has to be.
So if there's somebody new here, this is kind of like a podcast we go out there. We want what he's saying right here is what we want everybody to say on a podcast. When Forever Rad gets here, we want them to say whatever they want, what they want to tell a customer, and everything, that kind of stuff. This is not one of them podcasts where we got a freaking what do you got, a schedule of questions. We're just gonna it's a conversation basically, and that's what we're known for. We have a lot of good visitors on the that come here every week and watch us, viewers, I guess you can say. And this is what this podcast is all about. We would do the same thing for Harley Davidson too, if the CEO would want to come on here. So just give you a heads up. But I mean, this is great. We need competition.
Chris, I think it's great. I mean, the reason why I'm on this podcast is when I first saw your show, and it had to be back in October, sometime around then, I turned it on, and my wife and I watched on Saturday morning, having a cup of coffee. And I was so impressed with your passion around riding, your passion for the Indian brand. And by the way, you guys are special, and that's why I'm here. But I see that passion in IMRG groups, dealers, employees at our dealerships. This brand is special. It's got momentum, and I'm just happy to be here supporting you guys. So I thank you for the opportunity to come on here and talk about the business. There's nothing I like talking about more than talking about shop. So,
and I definitely want to talk about IMRGs because we're almost the questions. Because when we got some great ones, we got one in Columbus, we got one in Cleveland, we got one in Cincinnati, Circle City, and Indianapolis. I mean, Mark McDave, Brian Moore. I mean, freaking great leaders in this area. I think they're great, and I think IMRG is the future that's going to be riding the coattails of Indian. It's going to be great for them.
Powerful. Yeah, so powerful. So blessed to have that passion, the rider base, and that's something that we got to invest in going forward. Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to my first event down in Daytona on Saturday to do that ride Saturday morning. So I'm absolutely excited to get down there and be part of that.
Let me ask a question here.
Okay.
During your tenure with Harley, when you had your fingers in a little bit of everything, did you ever have a chance to work with Hog?
I worked around Hog. I was never directly responsible for Hog, but I worked around Hog and with the team in Hog.
But you can see the effect that a group of dedicated riders can have on a brand.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, this is a people business, right? And people ride our motorcycles, and their passion bleeds over to their neighbors and their buddies and their girlfriends to buy more motorcycles. And listen, that's why we do what we do. So, yeah, we're blessed. We're absolutely blessed.
Yeah. All right. So
absolutely.
So this next set of questions here is let me get that
number 10.
Yeah, number 10, and then we can really get down to talking this stuff. Long-term vision and strategy, and a lot of things are going to be kept behind curtains, I suppose. I mean, because that's the way things are. But I think whoever wrote, I mean, because we did a summary here, and the 5-10 is exactly right, and I think he would probably agree with me. When you're going to start seeing some really headwinds with Indian, I mean, right now it's kind of like a new company, right? So, yeah.
It is. I mean, it's kind of like a startup. That we turned the switch on the new company back on February 2nd, but it's a startup with 125 years history and a state of the art manufacturing plant and a globally compliant product line and 600 dealers. So it's not really a startup, but it kind of has a startup mentality because we're a new company. The team is super excited. I mean, we're dealing with a ton of change right now, but we're super excited because we all feel like we've got, some market momentum. We're inheriting a great product line, a great brand, 600 dealers around the world. Those three things alone tend to put you in pretty thin air in the motorcycle business. We're gonna focus on U.S. manufacturing. We've got a aluminum casting and milling operation in Monticello, Minnesota, where our engines sort of get birth in aluminum casting operation, which is, if you've never seen that, it's phenomenal. And then it all comes together in Spirit Lake, Iowa. So super blessed. But I mean, the long-term vision for the company is to get more serious about those segments and just be a rider mentality for the riders and have a great relationship with our dealer partners to win locally.
Gotcha.
And I think growth versus premium positioning. I mean, I think our owners think long term. That's what they're thinking. We're not desperate to grow, but obviously growth is always good when you're talking about business. But this is a special brand that we want to make sure we nurture and invest in going forward. The other thing you talked about was on that list was innovation while preserving heritage, and I think that's a great kind of word track to keep in front of ourselves. Ola talks about this all the time, making sure we bring innovation to our product line, which we have a ton today, whether it's the Speed Plus or Thunderstroke or our touring product line, bagger product line, right? There's a ton of innovation in those products, but the styling heritage will always lean into the DNA of our brand and our 125 years. I think you had also top organizational focus areas. I think the team is excited by the art of the possible, what we can do and what we can show the world when we focus on motorcycles singularly versus what we were before when we had maybe motorcycles was 10% of somebody's role. I mean, for the first time in the history, the last 15 years, our district managers have one brand, one product line to focus on. Previously in January, they had Indian motorcycles and they had Slingshot. And so today they're focused singularly on Indian motorcycles. And so you just think about that implication throughout the entire organization, whether it's engineering, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to have an impact on our organization and our focus. And we're excited by that. I mean, we just really are. It's a fun time.
All right. So we're going to hold off on the last question, and we're going to go.
Is that King of the Bagger?
Yeah, King of the Baggers. There's a couple people in here. They were talking about, we have a bunch of Indian influencers, and I don't want to leave them out too. How are they incorporated in this vision in the future?
What was the question, Chris?
Indian influencers, like YouTube, that kind of stuff. How are they in the vision of the future of Indian?
Well, I think that and again, this is before Mike Kennedy arrived on the scene. I mean, the team, Nate Seco, our head of marketing, invited a bunch of influencers out to Los Angeles for kind of a dealer meeting press event. And today's
ours got lost in the mail, right? Ours got lost in the mail.
It must have, Max. That's the only thing I can think of. It must have gotten lost in the mail. I mean,
leave it to
Ohio
That's
mail,
what I thought.
It'll probably show up next week, so we can do a separate party for you out in LA if you want.
Oh man,
Cool.
Oh, that's funny.
But I think today the world has changed, right, in terms of how people learn and how they
Sure.
how they get information, and you guys are doing it tonight. Like, you got over 200 people that are listening in, and I'm sure a bunch of people will watch tomorrow, not live, and they'll learn, and that's our current reality, right? And that's great. So we embrace that. I mean, we missed Max's invitation, but we embraced that big time, based on what we did in Los Angeles. And we did, by the way, we did the same thing in Spain. So we did the same thing with the European
Wow.
influencer group.
So what? Rotting Fish, of course, is a good friend of ours, and
Finesse and
he was
Challenger.
out there and Finesse.
Mhm.
But I also want to shout out to
Moto Cow.
Brandon Picasso
Brandon,
because
Mhm.
he was out there too, and his in-depth riding video was more complete and more influenced. If I was going to buy a vintage, I would go off his word and his video more so than anything else I've seen. And that includes coming from Indian. I mean, it was a very, very in-depth video. So kudos to Picasso for doing that.
Yeah.
There's a
he's
lot
very
of us out there that are very, very passionate about the brand. And I mean, very passionate. Some of
I
us
agree.
have bigger audience. Some of us have bigger audiences. Some of us have small audiences. So,
Are you?
but that doesn't make
Hey,
us.
this
But
guy's
that
always
doesn't make.
trying.
But that doesn't make us any less important
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the people we reach are just as passionate as we are.
Sure.
There's a reason why we all three in here have Indian motorcycles. I mean, be honest with you, okay? I mean, we could have went across the street, got a Harley. I mean, I test rode them a couple times. I just liked Indian. I mean, I wanted to be different, and I think that's what most riders that ride Indian, they wanted to be different. They wanted to be, when they want to go to a bike night, they don't want to have the same bike that everybody else has.
Well, well, Chris, for me, it was the vintage styling.
Yeah.
You know, on the Roadmaster. I've had 3 Harleys, they're good bikes, but you know, if anybody has any doubt in their mind, I'll put my 24, 25 Indians up against any Harley any day, and I can tell you there's no comparison. The Indian is the better bike.
And for me, it's kind of the same. And no offense, Mr. Kennedy, because I know you worked for Harley for a long time, but I rode metrics for decades. And my last bike before I got my Indian in 2019 was a Kawasaki Vulcan Nomad 1600 that I rode for 12 years. That had been to Sturgis twice, to and back, ridden. So I was very excited to get on the Indian brand because it was a bike that I did not have to spend $3,500 to $5,000 to make run right. I could leave it stock.
Yep.
Or I could just add slip-ons and an air breather to it, and I was done. Of course, I spent a whole lot more than that just because. But if I really wanted to be honest, anybody could go buy an Indian today and ride it stock. And if that's your jam, more power to you because you'll be perfectly happy with it. If you just want to add slip-ons to it and an air cleaner, great. If you want to go the whole thing and put cam and whatever in it, that's available too.
Yeah.
So,
but you know, that's one of the things that's one of the things I tell people, you know, when they ask me about the Indian. I said, it's the best out of the box bike you're going to find.
Yep.
You know, right out of the box, it's going to do what you want it to do. You can modify it, you can do some things, but again, you know, I've been on one side and I'm on this side, and you know, I'd put my last 2 bikes up against any Harley any day. They're the better bike. So,
okay,
I can tell
out of the box, that's for sure. Hold on, Chris. I got to make one point, and I got to give one more shout out here.
Oh,
I want to shout out to Official Mac because he was opposite us on Sunday night. Now his focus is a whole lot different than ours. He does street racing, drag strip racing, that kind of thing. Mr. Kennedy, he's got a Harley that puts out 180 horsepower that eats Indians for lunch, eats Pursuits for lunch, eats Challengers for lunch. And I don't care what Lloyd does or anybody else, there has not been an Indian to stand up to Official Mac's Florida All-American Cycle souped-up Harleys yet. Give us an answer. There's got to be some way we can come up with more horsepower to beat these guys. There's got to be.
Yeah.
If we can beat them on the track, then we got to beat them on the strip too.
Sure.
jeez.
It's all
Sure.
good.
It's that Shelby Mustang model we talked about a while ago.
I love this. I love listening to you guys. You guys are great, man. It's awesome.
All right, I want to give some props out here, and hopefully I don't forget anybody. See Marty's on here. Mike Ride Daily, one of the biggest Facebook personalities on here. And by the way, just get on the podcast, okay? Get on the podcast, okay? We'll work it out. We'll get you on here, man. We love your videos. We got Finesse the Challenger on here. We got Moto Kyle, which is another ambassador. Finesse is an ambassador. Riding Fish is an ambassador. Some of these people are really the ones that helped us at the beginning to get this podcast going. So I know the Indian brand and the influencers work hard every day. And they also got a big, I'm sure they got a big ride coming up. It's Route 66, Legends Never Die. We're going to be on that for the first leg of it. It's going to be great. We're going to be stopping at dealerships and stuff like that. And that's Riding Fish and the Bearded Bobber, which I almost forgot to mention. I'm telling you what, you got a lot of people back in this company, and I think it's got a great future. And I think people just got to sit the first year out and see what happens the next 2-3 years. And I think it's gonna be a rocking company, man, especially with the aftermarket stepping in. It's gonna be great, man.
Well, don't be sitting anything out, Chris. Like we're not slowing down, man. We're gonna.
I know,
man. So we're going.
and you know what? It shows because I've seen you on a bunch of podcasts. I know this is the best one, but I've seen you on a bunch of them. And it's great. Hey, listen, do you want something to drink, Mike? And I think we got maybe a couple more 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes here. I can give away our $1,800 prize giveaway here because I know a lot of people have been wanting that. And actually, nobody probably even remember that you were on the podcast. But we do have a giveaway tonight, and it's from our great friends, Ride Culture, Bob. BC Custom, which makes very, very good custom levers for Indians. All right, I got them right here. And I also got some Ride Culture, look at this. This is some great stuff. Now, if you don't have an Indian, all you have to do is go tomorrow and buy one. And you got this stuff. Charlie Chapter wakeboards. And a lot of people, mic here a second. A lot of people love these, and they are included in the giveaway. And we also got Gator Mic, which is a friend. Gator Mic, which is a friend to the podcast.
He was on here earlier as well.
Yes, and we got his sauces, and we got his cleaners and stuff like that. And we're gonna throw in a bunch of stickers. And we also got $400 from TNA. Fiverr. Yeah, that's right. Carbon fiber. $400 coupon to a purchase of carbon fiber. We also get Brandon Davison Audio, which is a really cool company that supports Indian in Florida and Panama City. Go check out his shop. He's got a $250 coupon to go towards a stereo system, speaker system. And I'm telling you, this is a great prize. Now, the bad thing about it is that unless somebody wins it in a different country, you pay for shipping. I don't have a problem shipping it out. But I can't. It costs an arm and a leg when you have a 25-pound box sitting next to you shipping out. It's probably over $100. If I ship it out personally myself, so if somebody wins it from there, do you want to pay the shipping? That's fine. But other than that, it's going to go to somebody in the United States. Sorry.
So what is the secret word you have to put in the chat to get entered into this?
Yeah, you know what?
Yes.
Let's see here. Let me look it up and see what it says here.
Mike, just so you know, I recommended Chris use Kennedy as a secret word, but he didn't.
I like that.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I got to spell like what most people would say, you know what I'm saying? So if you guys, I'm going to put it in the chat here, folks. All right. So the secret word is expiration mark. And let me get this done right. Let me make sure I do it right here.
Yeah, please type it correctly.
Yeah, hold on a second. I got it right. I want to make sure if I hit this. All right. Announce in the chat.
Wait a minute.
Here it goes. It's going to announce it in the chat. So get ready. Hey, hold on a second. Let's make sure everybody, if you're on Facebook, it's not going to work. You better jump over. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to jump over to YouTube to get into chat and do this. Okay. So it's only works with YouTube. Sorry. That's the way this software is. I don't have $1 million. I don't write this stuff, but YouTube is where you need to be, either one of the two channels. Okay. So let's do it. Let's get this going. All right. So, all right. So did you get some drink there, Mike? Because I got a bunch of serious questions now for you. I'm just kidding.
So what? So what is the secret word? Did you put it in here?
No,
Answer
no,
that.
no. I'm getting ready to do it. I'm getting enough people to get over here to do it. So,
Okay.
all right. So, give me a second.
Oh my gosh. By the way, there's 20 IMRG chapters in the chats tonight.
Yeah, I know.
20.
Wow.
Holy
We have a
smokes.
lot. We,
Yeah.
we have a lot of friends that watch us from IMRG, and I really appreciate them coming here every night. I mean, they're very active on our Facebook and our groups. So if you're not on our Facebook groups, please do. We put out announcements all the time. We give out information. We try to share anything that Indian or Harley does, that kind of stuff. We and that's one thing I want to talk about right after this before we talk about King of the Baggers is about how to get more riders out there on the road. And I know the Scout is a perfect bike for that, but what is an Indian's outlook in the future of maybe getting some of these schools with I don't know, involved with Indian, and then we'll talk about that here in a second. All right, I've gave you guys a few minutes, and I'm gonna get ready to post this secret word, and I think Les was kind of right. It should be Mr. Kennedy. So there you go. It should be in the chat. It's exclamation mark Kennedy, lowercase. Don't spell it with a K.
Don't spell it with a K.
I mean, no, I mean capital K. Sorry, so I
Yeah,
got everybody messed up. Sorry, but anyway,
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
no, that's actually a good point. You have to put it in exactly
yeah,
as Chris has put it in the
Yes.
chat. Otherwise, it won't record it. So put it in exactly as he has it typed in.
mm-hmm. And it is we're like 5-10 minutes behind, so people will actually gotcha. If anybody has a bike that's a 25 or a 26 for the Bryant lights, Mike will exchange these or get these wired up to fit for the work with the 2025s. Is anybody typing this? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, everybody
There
is
it
now.
is.
All right,
now,
cool.
hey, I'm seeing
So-
some variations on here. Some of them are capitalized
Yes.
in a K. It has to be lowercase.
And it's got to be exclamation mark too. So
Yep.
we'll give you guys.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, Faith, you need to redo that one,
Mm-hmm.
girl.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
several of them in here with a capital K. If you put it in cap, put it in with the exclamation mark with a lowercase K, please. Otherwise, it won't catch your entry.
Yep. All right. And the way to get it, Women Blaze, it looks like you don't do it. You only do it once because you guys don't want to get caught with spam and timed out. Okay, don't do that. Don't do it. Only once.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't just keep spamming it because it's not going to help you. It's just going to do one at a time. So please do not do that. I see a couple people typing it, but don't do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Some of them have an extra exclamation mark at the end also.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they
it's
don't
at the
need
beginning
that.
of
Yeah,
them.
it's
Just at the beginning.
So how does this work, Chris? How do you determine who wins?
Right now, whoever types that word, I have a bot that goes in here. It's a night bot. I've been using it for years. It works very, very good. I'm gonna go in here. Everybody that did do the spam, I'll try to get you guys back in there because you don't want to spam it. Please do not spam it. But once I'm done here, I'm gonna have it choose a winner, and that winner will announce right here. And then when you get go to our website, go to our contact, send me all your information, and believe me, I'll know who wins. So don't be giving me some fake stuff because that's how. And but yeah, it's gonna be fun. So it's gonna be great. I know you didn't really know, Mike, that we were doing this, but yeah, we're gonna give this thing away. We were gonna do it when we had 1,000 subscribers, and we're way past that now. But we said, you know what? Let's just surprise Mike.
Congratulations. That's great, you guys.
Thanks.
yeah.
All right, so we got 98 entries so far. That's really good.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's freaking.
But we
awesome.
still have 209 looking in.
Mm-hmm.
How many
Yeah.
likes do we have?
That's something we got to improve on. We got 154. That's pretty
Oh,
good.
wow.
Well,
Yeah,
that's better.
that is
That's
good.
better than we've had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we set some records.
Huzzah for us!
Yep, it's all good.
So King of the Baggers. Are you going to talk about King of the Baggers while you're
I'd love
collecting
to.
entries, Chris?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about King of
Yeah,
the
go
Baggers.
ahead.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, King of the Baggers. I mean, we've been to a couple of races last year, but what I really want to know is how much of that race technology is going to flow over to that Shelby Mustang model. That's what I want to know. Yeah. But no, talk about King of the Baggers. Well, what do you think for them? I think you've got a new partnership going into that with a lot of race heritage and history. So, what's that look like for you, and what are your expectations this year for them?
Yeah. So listen, we got a great partner in Van Science Motorsports. They've been around for almost 50 years. Terry and Byron. I mean, nobody better, right? They run factory programs for Ducati, Yamaha, Suzuki, Harley. Gosh, who am I forgetting? Anyways, and now Indian. So I've known Terry for 28 years. I reached out to Terry and when I was in a challenging spot with a different racing program back in the late 90s, and that partnership stayed in place for 25 years. And so when I got here, and what I love about King of the Bagger racing is the clarity from the bike that's in the showroom to the bike that they race. Same same base powertrain, right? Cases, the chassis the same. Obviously, a lot of changes, but I love that. I love that connection to the showroom, and the bagger segment in North America is a really important segment for us as a company. So it's a great chance to demonstrate our technology, our engineering chops, and of course, it's a great marketing platform as well. And me going to Vance and Hines Motorsports was not a negative reflection on our previous partner, SNS. SNS is a great partner, still a supplier to our company and a great partner of us. I had to move fast and needed to get this right. So I called Terry the first week of October and said, "Hey, this is what's going on." And he said, "Wow, Mike, this is pretty exciting. And what do you think?" And I said, "Well, I think we should go racing." He's like, "Okay, well, when?" And you know what? I said, "Well, King of the Bagger and Daytona." And he's like, "This Daytona? Like, come on in March?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this Daytona. We got to do this." And he's like, "Man, Mike, you're asking a lot." And I said, "Well, I know, but I know I'm asking." So most people would have hung up the phone and not taken my next call, but he and his organization jumped at the opportunity. The two of us are super excited about what the team's going to bring to the racetrack. I highly encourage everybody to tune into the races in Daytona, which is in weekend after next. I think you're going to be super impressed by those Vance and Hines built Indian Challengers. I've seen the bikes, I've seen the components, and there's just nobody better in this space than Vance and Hines Motorsports. So I'm super excited about what we're going to do there. And then I think we expect that relationship to not just position us well to compete on the track, but also to develop products for the riders. So to your point, Les, yeah, we're going to see influence from that program in the showroom going forward and on products going forward.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited to see. See that carryover into some performance models.
All right, let's pick a winner. You guys ready?
All right, I'm ready, man.
Drum roll.
Let's see if we can crash this
Wait
system.
a minute. Hey, I got to put my entry in.
No.
You can't win.
Marcella.
Marcel.
Oh, wow.
Whoa! Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Somebody's texting me. Uh-oh.
Probably
do
Marcel.
wrong?
Probably her.
No,
Give me my stuff.
Oscar said badass show. Thank you. All right.
man.
So I know how to get a hold of him. So that would be good to go. IMRG, I think. Awesome stuff, guys. Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, folks. We're at the last stretch here, and I know Mike Kennedy is ready to get off this show. Just kidding. It's been a great show. I mean, I'm glad you came on.
Well, I appreciate it. It's a great opportunity for me just to get to know you guys better, and we didn't talk enough about riding motorcycles around this country. That's something that we should probably maybe come back for round 2 and just talk about that. We got kind of caught up on all the company stuff, but I'm looking forward to my ride down to Daytona. I'm leaving tomorrow and going to stop and visit dealers along the way, New Orleans, Panama City, Jacksonville, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, we're going to visit all the Florida dealers. So super excited about that. I can't wait to meet the group down in the ride on Saturday morning. And I know I'm I'm going to drag my wife to Durango in June for the big event. And then I'll see you guys also, certainly Sturgis, and then the ride with the Jack Daniels crew in late September.
Late September.
Yeah.
I think it's right at the beginning of October, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
late
late
September, early October.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, you guys. I appreciate your support. Can't thank you enough. The passion that exists here, I'm just going to bottle it up and take it with me to work and open it up and let it be infectious, because I really appreciate you guys. Can't thank you enough.
Yeah,
You're very welcome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being on here.
You mean you didn't make this mandatory watching for all those guys?
I didn't. I didn't.
Come on.
An email from HR.
Yes.
Watch this podcast tonight.
Yeah, the future is bright for Indian. And we're going to support it as much as we can. We want all riders to, support us. So we love Harley Davidson. We love every brand. But we, for some strange reason, and it was all about IMRGs, because I guess we can talk a little bit about that. But that's how we all met, was the IMRG, and that's we all got Indians, and I think that's one of the biggest powerhouses that Indian's going to have in the future, and it's going to be awesome. So
what do you guys think? I know we're running out of time, and I need to go, but what do you guys think that makes IMRG special?
Camaraderie.
Yeah, the friendships, the camaraderie. I made a lot of new friends through IMRG, and you get to talk to some like-minded people, and you also get the opportunity to talk to people that may not be on the Indian brand, and learn about their story and why they maybe have not made the move to Indian, or why they're loyal to another brand. So you learn about the people, you learn about other brands of bikes too. So
I think,
even if they are on other brands, why they chose to ride with us.
And I think the other thing is you got a lot of people I just started riding Indian 2.5 years ago, and going to IMRG, you learn the history. You also learn more about your bike than you ever thought you would, just by talking. And I think it's a great tool right there for IMRGs, because I love the rides, because we usually, with Brian Moore and everybody, Mark, McDave, Josh, all them people, they do rides, and I just love going to the rides, and just riding together. That's one of the biggest things. And we usually go to a place to go eat, and we can go get some ice cream as Les.
It's also a great opportunity for graybeards to pass down their knowledge to the rookies.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's exactly.
Well, it's like your motorcycle family.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, so I started going to IMRG about a year ago, and I sat on the other side of Max, and then by the end of the year, I was sitting next to him, because he had so much knowledge. So I
didn't know any better.
So I gave you a compliment there. How you like that, Max?
Oh man,
yeah.
Hold on, Elizabeth, I'm coming.
You know what? Another thing.
You're too young for that reference. I keep forgetting.
And I got to tell you this much. I'm an IMRG. Les is an IMRG. Max. Every time we're in a dealership, we're trying to sell bikes. It's amazing. Sure. You guys got free salesmen in every dealership every time an IMRG walks in the door. It's amazing, because how I'm always in there. If somebody walks in there looking at Indian, if nobody's helping them, I'll go there and start talking to them.
Sure. I do too. I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, we do. I'll talk to him until a salesman walks up and gives me that dirty look to go away.
I say, give me half that money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I'll jump off. I'll jump off. That way you can talk about me after I leave.
All the comments have been so positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again,
it's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
This has been a phenomenal show. Phenomenal, sir. Thank you.
Definitely going to be the biggest podcast we've ever done. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And if we haven't got anybody's question, send me a comment. I'll put them all together, and I'll send it to Mike Kennedy and see if he and his team can answer it for you. But they've been really open. Been very. I've never seen a not dealership, but a company like Indian be so open to people, and it's amazing. So
happy to do it. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much, Connie. Thank you very much. What a great show.
Sir.
I love it. I'll see you guys. I'll be tuning in down the road.
Well, Mike, will you stay
we
on
thank
for
you,
just
sir.
1 second? Just
Oh,
stay
you
on
bet.
once. Yeah, and then we'll. Hold on, let me get the right song here.
We're going to close it out.
Yeah, we're gonna close it
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
the
we're
right
gonna close
way.
it out. Just hang on 1 second.
All right. Okay.
Thanks everybody for tuning
The
in.
screen.
If you
The
haven't,
screen will go
Namaste,
black.
everybody. Namaste.
if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting on?
Exactly.
We got another show next week. We'll
Yep.
see you Tuesday
Yep.
at 8:00. Also, hey, where's the thumbs up? I know you're holding out. I can't believe somebody put a thumbs down. I'm gonna search for you. I'm gonna find you. All right.
And all you people out there, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's okay. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. If you're watching it on YouTube
Yeah.
a couple of days later, give us a thumbs up.
Share. Congratulations, Marcel. We'll be in talks, and we'll get this show on the road, folks. Have a good night.
Everybody stay safe.
Namaste.
Thank
Namaste.
you.